What's going on, everyone? So JJ Redick, in an interview, talked about the need for a big body center and talked about how the Western Conference is just really stacked with these bigger centers and that the Lakers could really get some. He talked about how the Lakers tried, and so far nothing, but the plan is to still get one eventually. He said, you certainly have to look at what I think is actually a very good roster, very balanced roster. We tried, but we'd love to, at some point, get another five-man, a big bruising five-man. You look at the Western Conference right now, whether it's Denver, Minnesota, OKC, with what they added, certainly Memphis, they're going to be back in the hunt. They added Zach Edey. Certain matchups in the playoffs, you're going to need a lot of size. Now, a couple things really stand out. First off, the Lakers tried. He said they tried. So far to no prevail. But, there's a lot of time, and I've talked about this, a lot of time between now and October, right? A lot of time between now and the trade deadline even. Now, up to this point, the Lakers haven't made any moves, which is frustrating, and hopefully they do, but they aren't in a need of rush and panic. They can take their time, they can be patient, find the right moves, find the right center, find the right trade. Eventually, somebody is going to break. You see it all the time. Right? Lakers were patient in the Russell Westbrook trade. They were able to pull something off, and then we were able to get to the conference finals. And that came through patience because everyone was trying to fleece us early on. This time last year, or 2 years ago now, or a year and a half, whatever it was, right, when we were trying to trade Russell Westbrook. And the Jazz trade was a big, heavy, rumored trade, which is the trade we eventually pulled off. But originally, it was no Jared Vanderbilt, and it was Rudy Gay, Mike Conley, and Malik Beasley were the three that they were trying to shop. And they wanted both of our firsts unprotected, plus they wanted other stuff, like pick swaps and all that other stuff. Then we got right before training camp, and then that price went down. They still wouldn't include Jared Vanderbilt, but then it was like, all right, forget all the other stuff. Just give us one unprotected and one protected. It literally dropped in half. And the Lakers said no, and then eventually they pull off the trade, and it was one protected first, and we got Jared Vanderbilt. So again, patience is key. Things will unfold, things will develop. However, it would be very nice to get that center ASAP, right? So that way you have the time to grow and develop and learn alongside Anthony Davis, backing up Anthony Davis, whichever, right? Anthony Davis has shown with Team USA how valuable he is alongside another big man that is versatile defensively. And I think if the Lakers can find that right big man, which is why I'm okay with them being patient. It's why I'm okay with them kind of taking their time, letting things develop, because you don't want to just get a center just to get a center. You want to get somebody that makes sense, that is the right fit now, ideally now and the future, and get a guy that can slot alongside AD at times or back up and play behind AD. You need to find that guy. Anthony Davis, we have seen what playing next to another big man can lead to a championship. But you also got to keep in mind, Anthony Davis probably closes at the 5 more times than not, and particularly in the playoffs. Even in the 2020 year that everyone points to, everyone's like, look, Anthony Davis played power forward. Yes, but particularly in the playoffs, he was a lot, I think it was 60-40 power forward center, and he almost closed every game at center. Because, again, he is so versatile as a center. Now, again, that doesn't mean that through an 82-game season, you can't slot AD at the 4 at times. Doesn't mean through an 82-game season, you can't get AD a little bit of rest and slot that guy in. There's a lot of room there. The real problem is LeBron James, right? Can LeBron play another position, and is he open to playing another position, right? Now, look, Anthony Davis has been as vocal in public about him not wanting to play the 5 as possible, and yet everyone keeps playing him at the 5. I mean, even, Frank Vogel. A lot of people think it was just solely Darvin Ham. No, Frank Vogel played Anthony Davis at the 5 a lot too. A lot of that was because of LeBron James. Because at LeBron's age, he can kind of play in that scout role. He doesn't have to put as much wear and tear on his body. Most 4s aren't crazy skilled, right? Most 4s are just either the bruisers or they're kind of like hybrid threes almost, or like another three. Like they're not like, it's not the old days where you're matching up against this big body, 7 foot, 6'10", bruising power forward that's just trying to get to the basket. A lot of them are just shooting out. And you see LeBron, I mean, how many times does he not even go out and contest? Right? Like, can he really do that at the three? Probably not. Not against quicker, twitchier, more athletic, better shooting forwards. Right? That's usually who are slotted at the three. So I do think that there is that question. But if you can get the right center, right? I look at somebody like a Walker Kessler. And Walker Kessler's probably my favorite option just because, one, his age. He's incredibly young, right? And there's enough growth and upside and potential. Plus, he's shown the versatility to defend even smaller guys, be able to switch, protect the rim. He's one of the better rim protectors in the league. The ability to make plays out of the post. He's even shown that he can step out and knock down the occasional three. He doesn't take a ton of them. He's not really a guy that, I think you can really rely to knock down the three ball consistently at this stage. But he has shown that he can, right? And that's good for his future. He's also a piece that helps now and the future, but also he is a true 7-footer that is a big body that can bang with the big boys, right? And so I really do lean towards like a Walker Kessler type of trade. Plus, he's just so cheap, you could do other moves. I mean, obviously not cheap in the sense of assets, cheap in the sense of contract, that it just gives you flexibility and you can make some other moves and maybe even work something out to where maybe you can even salary dump and clear some roster spots. Utah is clearly willing, after the Russell Westbrook trade, clearly willing to take on some salary and stuff. So that's good. There's some good flexibility there and potential. It's just what does Utah ultimately want? Now, a lot of people go, well, the Knicks, they turned down 2 firsts from the Knicks. 2 firsts from the Knicks is not the same thing as even 1 first from the Lakers in 2029, right? Danny Ainge himself on record said that he believes that the Lakers picks are the best on the market. It's why he was willing to basically ultimately settle for a protected first in 2027 for the Lakers, right? Like, a team like the Knicks is incredibly young, incredibly talented, and they're going to be very good for a long time. They're going to be good for the next probably 5 years, right? 4 or 5 years. And so if you're a team like Utah, do you value even 2 firsts from the Knicks that are probably going to be in the late 20s, maybe even 30, right? Like, or do you look at a team like the Lakers, which it's like, hey, when LeBron James and Anthony Davis leave, that the Lakers might be a lottery team. I mean, the Lakers haven't been the most well-run organization in the league, right? Like, so a guy like Danny Ainge, it makes sense why he values the Lakers picks. Now, I'm not saying the Lakers will be able to get him for just 1 first or anything like that, but don't be shocked if trade goes down and they're able to get him for like a first and like a second, or like an unprotected first and a pick swap or something, right? Like, and people go, oh, well, he turned down the Knicks. Again, not all firsts are the same, are created equal, but somebody like a Walker Kessler would be great. I wouldn't mind Wendell Carter. Like, I actually think there's a genuine argument that Wendell Carter Jr. makes more sense right now from the versatility standpoint on the defensive side and his ability to stretch the floor better. He can also slot at the 4 or the 5, where Walker Kessler's a guy that's just, you're not really slotting him at the 4. He's basically just a 5. I think Wendell gives you a little more versatility currently. Definitely think Kessler has more long-term upside. My biggest problem with him is that, like with Wendell Carter, is that he's not, he's like 6'10", and so he's not this big bruising center, right? Like, is he going to be able to hold his own against a Jokic? Probably not. He's probably, a little too light, but his versatility alongside an Anthony Davis, I think would be very valuable. And again, like I said, you could slot him at the 4. You could slot him at the 5, right? So, like, if LeBron misses a game, you could move AD to the 4 and put Wendell at the 5. Or if, let's say, both miss a game, you can, bring in Jackson Hayes at the 5 and then move Wendell to the 4, or go small or whatever, right? Like, there's options and flexibility with Wendell that I don't think you get with Walker Kessler. I just like Walker Kessler for his size, his upside, and I do think he'd really help now, right? And he's the better rim protector. Where Wendell, I think, is just, he's more versatile, particularly defending out of the pick and roll and out on the perimeter. Kessler can defend out of the pick and roll. He's shown that pretty heavily, but I just think, again, Wendell's a little more mobile, a little more versatile right now. Now, there are injury concerns with Wendell, but I just think his contract's cheap enough. You can work it out. I don't think you can go wrong, is my point. I think either of these guys would be, these guys really could make an impact for the Lakers and just be easily slotted in alongside Anthony Davis, backing up Anthony Davis. And I think the Lakers are in great shape at that point. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Do you think that, Lakers got to go get a center? Do you want to see them get a bruiser center? Are you okay with like a guy like a Wendell Carter Jr.? Are you at this point where you're like, I don't really care, I just want somebody, right? Which I understand that too. Like, hey, just give me somebody better than, Jackson Hayes or what we got currently. Again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Helps me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.